Hey everybody, I'm Sam Gross, the Electric Bike Report, and we are coming at you for day 2 of the big gear show in Park City, Utah, and we have Richie Gittler, Business Development North America of Gocycle, which Gocycle is a really cool performance folding brand. These are some of the lightest and highest performing folding bikes you can find on the market. So these are the G4 models. They're the newest iteration, the 4th iteration, right?
Yeah.
4th iteration of the Gocycle. We actually have quite a bit of experience with Gocycle. We have a GX, the 3rd generation of the Gocycle, here with us, but there are quite a few differences between this new model and the last model. And Richie, can you walk us through what those differences are?
Yeah, absolutely. So going from the GX, that we're actually proud that you liked it enough to want to have it as your team bike at EBR. So thank you for that. Going from the GX to the new G4 series, we're looking at getting lighter, true to Gocycle's DNA, by incorporating a composite midframe on the G4, which is the entry-level Gocycle, and a new carbon midframe on the G4i and the G4i Plus that you see here, our mid-range, and our Halo product, the G4i Plus. Also, all G4 series have a newly designed carbon fork. So we've lost approximately a half pound to a pound throughout the range, which is becoming a bigger and bigger deal in the e-bike world. So go ahead.
Just to interrupt you,
Yeah.
Weight is a big deal on bikes like this. This is a true folding bike. They're based out of London, where folding bikes are actually used as transportation, which they are here in the US, but a lot of the folding bikes on the market today are heavier, maybe fold to store in a garage, but these are used to actually like hide behind a desk.
Yeah, hide behind a desk, bring in with you, as we'll demonstrate a little later in our talk. But yeah, so lighter weight. They have close to twice the power that the model of the GXU has, and so it's what our Gocycle riders have been asking for, and the market, for that matter. So here we are in Park City, Utah, Deer Valley, and this is the kind of terrain that, for getting around town or getting around a city, people want, especially in places like San Francisco, Seattle, Pittsburgh, that are hilly, the beach cities in LA. So more power, quieter, lighter, some smaller advancements, USB-C port designed in so you can charge your mobile device while you're riding it. New carbon wheels on the G4i Plus, a slight redesign on the wheels, more of a shelled feel, better USB. There's also some service-related improvements to the new G4 series, and the internal cabling is more streamlined, routed better for better service, which we're already low service bike.
Yeah, and something that I noticed, because we have spent some time on these bikes, is you also have some electronic shifting.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of cool. It's a Shimano Nexus rear hub. It's a 3-speed hub, and then right here you've got it's like a grip shift, but it's even more sensitive. It's like a little click, and what that'll do is that will send a signal to a little actuator that changes the gears in the back, and then it also senses if you come to a stop, and it drops it down to first gear, so you don't have to mess with your gears at a stop sign. It's a pretty cool feature.
You're never starting in a high gear and that's something that's been part of our DNA for a long time. Those types of little sophisticated refinements and advancements. So we feel that in terms of livability, lightweight, ride quality is really probably the most important thing. That the design of the Gocycle is such that one Gocycle will comfortably fit a rider from 4'8" to, how tall are you?
6'1".
6'1" to 6'4", so you're you're definitely within the range. So we should appeal to anybody that wants a bike to get around town.
Yeah.
Either for commuting, we have a whole host of accessories as well. A rear rack, a front pannier, mud guards, light kit. So carrying capability is really important for those people. And as we cross the chasm from being the best folding electric bike in the world, most refined, versatile, etc., to one of the best electric bikes in the world from a ride perspective, and a refinement.
So, as I had mentioned before, we have the GX model here, and it was kind of a serendipitous coincidence. We didn't know you guys were going to be here. It was a surprise when we rolled in with a Gocycle. But so we actually kind of have the rare opportunity here to compare the last generation to the current generation, which, if you stay tuned in this video, I actually take these bikes up one of the larger hills here near the venue in Park City. And that new motor, that G4 motor, it is a huge difference. And just to be clear, the GX is not a poor performing bike. That bike climbs with the best of them, but this one, I mean, it's like a little sports car, how it climbs. It's very impressive.
We hear from our dealer partners from the early demos we did on the first units during COVID to reach the country, game changer. We heard from Bryce, who's filming. He got back from your demo ride up the switchback up there, and he said, I'm speechless. And he's the one that's been riding the GX in St. George, right?
Yeah.
So, and then he said, wow, just wow. And so that makes us feel really good and even more excited about Gocycle's place in the electric bike world.
So, and even beyond performance, Gocycle's really calling card is their ease of foldability, portability. At the end of the day, even though these things are little sports cars, they're utilitarian. So can you give us an example real quick? And you're really good at this. Can you fold one of these up for us?
They're very practical. They're designed to be a bike that's lived with. We have a saying internally, to know the Gocycle is to love the Gocycle. There's so much thought and design that has gone into this electric bike that it's hard to cover it in an interview without boring people, frankly. So this is the fold. So you saw me at the coffee shop yesterday, right? So I go from our hotel, I ride to the coffee shop, boom, 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 and then I'm in. And because it's only 35 to 36 pounds this year, it's just both people in a couple can always lift it. Most other e-bikes, 50 to 70 pound range. It's 2021. They have to buy a rack that's $500 to $1,500, and B, half the people can't even lift most of the other e-bikes onto the rack if they want to take it somewhere. So the Gocycle, you can throw it in your car, you can roll it into your office and charge it. If you really want to make it thin, like when I do go to a restaurant in LA or New York, a big city, and I don't want to leave it locked outside in 2021 due to the sophistication of thieves, I just roll it in, and now it's very, very streamlined, and I can just set it next to my table, which is really nice.
And Richie, before we let you go, Gocycle is a very cool technology called Clean Drive. It's a patented technology. Can you walk me through really quickly what that is?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked about that, because that's a feature that turns into a benefit for Gocycle that is often, we've had it for so long it can get taken for granted. This is what Sam's referring to. It's the patented Clean Drive. As beautiful as the Gocycle is, as cool, as great and amazing as the ride is, at the end of the day, it's an electric bicycle. It's designed to be ridden for people not just to get out of cars and onto e-bikes for clean living, but also to live a healthier lifestyle, to get exercise, etc. The patented Clean Drive has a Shimano Nexus 3-speed internal hub there. Jeremy, who runs our dealer training, as soon as he pops it off for the technicians at all the Gocycle dealers around North America, they're like, wow, this is really cool. We can fix this. But more equally, if not more important, for the user, for the Gocycle rider, it keeps their clothes clean. There's no getting grease on your hands or your car or anything, so you feel good bringing it into your office or into a restaurant. If you're loading it into your car, you're not going to get chain grease on you like you will with the bulk of most other e-bikes, and it keeps it extremely low maintenance. You're not going to get road grime, dirt, things into the workings, into the derailleur system that cause you to have to take it in for maintenance. So it's veritably maintenance free.
I'm here on our test hill on the Gocycle G4i Plus, which is their highest model. This is the one with the carbon rims, all that cool jazz. But I don't know if you can tell from the video or if you've been paying attention to any of the other videos we've been doing from the big gear show. This bike hauls ass uphill way quicker than I would expect any compact, lightweight folding bike to climb a hill. So this is the G4 edition, 4th model of electric folding bike from Gocycle. And one of the big improvements they did with this most recent edition is they doubled the amount of torque that their pretty small hub drive, or at least visually small, hub drive motor produces. And oh my God, does it climb fast. We actually have the Gocycle G3 here at the show with us. We're big Gocycle fans. It's actually the bike we just chose to bring here because it's compact, gets the job done, and we can easily ride around Park City with it. But this thing climbs about twice as fast, if not more. You know, I'm in the Gocycle's hardest gear right now. This is a probably 6 or 7% hill, and it's showing no signs. Like, in fact, because my pedaling is kind of inconsistent right now, and the Gocycle's, I believe it's a torque sensor, whatever sensor they use to engage the motor based on your pedaling, is so sensitive that whenever I push on one pedal a little harder than the other, the bike lurches forward. Like, I'm going at a talking pace right now. I bet doing 17, 18 miles an hour. But if I step on it, there it goes. Quite a bit faster. No problems at all. And I'm still going easy enough, or pedaling easy enough, that I can talk you guys through this without gasping for air too much, or maybe I'm speaking too soon because that little effort's catching up with me. But so impressed by this new G4 motor. It is such a cool piece of technology on a bike that is so innovative in the folding e-bike space. But even beyond that, this bike has the brand new carbon fiber wheels, which, you know, my coworkers make fun of me when I reference my road racing past, but carbon wheels are a significant upgrade on a bike, and it's going to account for a little bit of the cost of this bike. I think right now the G4i Plus comes in at around 6K, but I'd say it's worth it, man. They're responsive, the handle's super quick. This bike also has new tires on it, MotoGP inspired tires. I'm gonna wait for this truck. But just super grippy, confidence inspiring. I'm gonna flip around here and see how this bike performs on the downhill, which is gonna be an interesting ride down on a relatively compact folding bike. But I actually got corrected by the guys at Gocycle. I was making a comment at how important balance is on a bike that's this small, especially with, you know, I wrongly said a shorter wheelbase. He then proceeded to walk this bike over to the guys at Fat Chance Mountain Bikes, hold it up next to one of their bikes. It's got the same wheelbase. This thing's long, it's stable, there's a reason it rides so well. While I'm coasting here at kind of a mellow pace, and before I kick it up and the wind noise picks up, this thing is a whole new redesigned cockpit than what we're used to on the G3. You've got light controls on this side, and those lights are indicated by an LED. That same twist grip throttle, you hold it back and there's the throttle. So forward, you're adjusting your lights, back is throttle. It's pretty cool. It's also like you barely hit it and it goes. On the other side, you also have a twist grip, and this is controlling the electric shifting on this bike. So at the back end of this thing, connected to their patented clean drive technology, which I think the good dudes at Gocycle are going to fill us in a little bit more on. They've got a Shimano Nexus internally driven rear hub, 3 gears, and you control that by flicking this little twist grip on the right side. And it's actually electric shifting. So Gocycle has built a special electronic actuator that works the gears on that little hub. So, I mean, it's effortless. The G3 bike that we have here, we know and love it. It's got a traditional, I believe it's a wired grip shift, so it's got an actual cable operated in there. But this one is not like that. It's just a quick flip, and you're going between gears. It's pretty cool, and it can sense when you come to a stop sign, and the thing will actually shift down into first gear. So enough me waxing poetic about this cool new display and user interface. We're gonna see how this thing goes downhill. roads here in Park City are pretty weathered, not at all as normal for a mountain town in the winter. So there's a lot of cracks, a lot of little bumps, and this thing handles them pretty well. You know, you can feel that it's got some smaller wheels on there. The bumps feel a little more pronounced, like that one right there. But that long wheelbase helps keeping the bike feeling very stable. And I don't have a GPS on right now. I should probably have my watch going, but probably going 28 right there. Going around the corner. This is a more than 180-degree switchback. Handles it super nicely. I went relatively conservative. This thing's got Maguro brakes on it, Maguro hydraulic disc brakes. I've ridden a couple bikes in the big gear show that are spec like that, and they handle great. I'm getting the stink eye from a bunch of road riders because I'm passing them on a folding bike. So this is the tightest corner on this descent. More than 180 degrees and its receding radius. So we're gonna go all the way out, kick the knee out, there's Bryce. Drag the brakes through, hit the apex, and boom, we out. So we've actually got two of these Gocycle G4s with us. We've got the G4i and G4i Plus. Just swapped out the I Plus, their super high-end bike, for this bike, which is the G4i. It's their mid-tier model. There's a couple differences between the two. The biggest is going to be carbon wheels that are on the G4i Plus. Makes it a little bit lighter. I imagine stiffens the bike up a little bit. So I'm curious to see if this thing climbs any different. Wouldn't necessarily say climbs slower. Still impressively quick for a ultralight folding bike. Honestly, kind of shocked at how well these things performed. We rode the G3 up this hill earlier to film a different folding bike, or not a folding bike, a different electric bike. Even the G3 outperformed our expectations, but we love that bike. But the new G4 is just yards ahead in performance. You can feel that new motor. But between this bike and the I Plus, can feel a little bit of a difference. It's not big. Maybe a less nitpicky rider wouldn't pick up on it. I also spent quite a bit of time on carbon wheels, and they have a little bit of a springy sensation. Or maybe I'm just telling myself that to justify their price tag. But it feels a little different. You know, when you push onto a pedal on a bike with carbon wheels, especially going uphill, you kind of have this like springboard, like you really can feel the power transfer. And that is a little diminished on the G4i, but I mean like by a hair. The other most obvious place that you're going to see a performance difference between carbon and more traditional aluminum or alloy rims, it's going to be in cornering performance. How well does the bike hold a line through a corner at high speeds? And now that I've rallied down this descent on the I Plus, pretty confident doing it on the I, so let's flip around and see how it does. So we got the same brakes between the two bikes, same electronic shifting, which is just so cool. Same user interface. There's one more difference that I'm not mentioning because I'd forgotten it between the G4i and the G4i Plus. The good guys at Gocycle, we're gonna talk to them after this, and I'm sure they'll remind me. But going into the corner, big 180-degree sweeper. Pretty solid for a little wheel bike. I'm off the brakes after the apex. Again, I don't have a GPS on, so I don't know exactly how fast I'm going, but I'd ballpark it at 30 or a little more. So pretty quick. See if I can outrun the car that's behind me. Yeah, Yeah, a lot of roadies out today. It's cool. Tug the yellow. Drop the apex. Off the brakes. Does well. So if you've liked this video, be sure to like our channel and subscribe as well. This is going to be our only video with Gocycle, but we have several other videos that we're doing here at the Big Gear Show with other e-bike brands. But if you want more details about these two bikes, there's going to be a link in the description below to a short write-up that's going to give a little bit more detail. And for Electric Bike Report, I'm Sam Gross. Richie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks, Bryce. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching.